It's a little bit funky, but a little bit touchy. It's a little bit less because I know it's
Yep. Quake was a good game. God, if I ever become disabled for any reason, and I'm talking like full on, like just staring up at the ceiling with my mouth hanging open type disabled, you just gotta find like a projection of Quake and just like project it onto the ceiling above me, and I'll be a happy man, in spite of my horrible illness. So anyway, we got a whole bunch of different Quake things to pick from. I got the whole Quake load in here. That came out awkwardly. So you can select your difficulty. We'll just do normal, because we're just a bunch of normies over here. Fucking normies. You gotta pick your episode. I like how this is formatted. They could have just had like a really lazy menu where you pick out everything, but instead it's all built into the world. Pretty cool. All those Quake enthusiasts out there are probably just over the moon about this remake. Because this is the new one, by the way. The remake of 2021. The new one. So, if you don't know Quake, I think this is all pretty straightforward. What's not to get? Quake was an influential game. The developers of Quake opened up their tools to the general public so they could make mods, and those tools were used to make many games which became popular later on. This Quake went on to inspire Half-Life 1, Team Fortress 2, Super Mario Sunshine, Madden 2014, and many others. An influential game, if there ever was one. So, I guess there really isn't a whole lot to say about this, other than what has already been said. So, this was published by Bethesda Softworks Software. It has been almost 1 year since the infamous Microsoft buyout of Bethesda, and now we're starting to see the impact of that. We get all these cool things that just drop without warning. This just came out of nowhere. A sparkling, polished remake of Quake just dropped with 1 day's notice. Because now Bethesda's basically got unlimited money because of the Microsoft buyout. So we can just have nice things like this. Look at that idiot. He just tried to jump across in the threatening green goo. You fool. They're gonna have articles about me in the news. Ignorant fool tries to jump across threatening green goo in Quake. Lord Jesus. But they need to do more than just remakes of Quake. They need to have a full-on new one. They haven't done that in many years. They need to really just go for it and give it a multi-billion-dollar budget. That would be crazy. All those Quake fans out there would be practically radioactive with joy. There's a new Quake on the game systems. Hooey. Alright, well, about 4 minutes in and I'm completely and utterly out of Quake things to say, so let's talk about the news. Did you see they added a Martin Luther King Jr. themed level to Fortnite? That was pretty disrespectful, huh? People are making all these funny GIFs on Twitter and such where you got like Rick Sanchez doing the Gangnam Style dance, and off in the distance there's like a flat screen playing a video of MLK giving the I Have a Dream speech, and who in the hell thought that was a good idea? I don't get it. And what's sad about all of this is there's probably some stupid kid out there who's never heard of any of the civil rights type of stuff, and Fortnite is gonna be how they receive their education on the subject, and maybe someday they'll be in school and the subject of civil rights will come up and they'll point to the picture of MLK and say, "It's the guy from Fortnite! It's the guy from Fortnite! Hooey!"
Go to the principal's office.
The teacher said that last part, not the kid. That wouldn't make sense if the kid said that. I don't know, these jokes all suck. These pretzels suck, as that guy says in Borderlands 2. That's not really a quote that people know. I saw a Reddit post once where this guy just expected everybody to recognize the Borderlands 2 quote of "these pretzels suck," and he was acting like that was super quotable, and that's not quotable, you fool. Redditors live in a bubble. They don't know what is and is not quotable. Okay, let's do something about the Chainsaw Man from Resident Evil 4 here. Remember that? That was pretty cool, huh? He's all Spanish and chainsaw-esque, and "un forastero," or whatever it is the Spanish zombies say in Resident Evil 4.
Ayenta.
I have no idea if I'm actually saying these correctly. I am not a Spanish speaker. That came out weirdly. I should redo that. That sounded
Fucking gay.
This is a terrible episode. My God. So what's been going on with me? Enough about Quake. Let's talk about the man of the hour here. So my YouTube recommendations have been just completely defaced lately because there's a new cartoon for kids on HBO Max called Jellystone. It's like a throwback to all those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons of the 60s. They got like Yogi Bear and all that shit in there. Anyway, for some reason YouTube's just really trying to cram it down my throat even though I'm a 26-year-old man, and stop trying to force me to watch this children's program, YouTube. I don't care. But eventually I just kinda caved because they kept just trying to, you know, it was in my recommendation every single day, and eventually I did try to watch it, and you know, honestly, it's not that bad. Oh, there's a big boy. He cornered me. There was no place to go. Don't you hate it when that happens in an FPS where you start backing up and then you back into a wall without realizing it? Because you can't see it. As Ozzy Osbourne once said, standing with their backs to the wall. Mr. Crowley is a fantastic song. Go look up Mr. Crowley by Ozzy Osbourne. That shit is the best. I was super into that song when I was in like the 8th grade, and there was no one I could tell about it. Because I went to the school in the middle of nowhere and there were hardly any other kids. And the ones that were there didn't care about anything cool. Just a bunch of lame jabronis. Yeah, dearie. I don't know how in the hell we're gonna get 2 episodes out of this game. I am already completely and utterly out of stuff to talk about. So earlier I mentioned the Microsoft buyout of Bethesda, and so how does that work for all the exclusives that they were working on? Are the PS5 versions just gonna get cancelled, or how's that gonna work out?
Redditors on suicide watch,
as they say. Gosh, if the Redditors get pissed off because of the PS5 games getting cancelled, that'll make the whole buyout worth it. All $7 billion will be worth it if it creates a bunch of whiny Redditors with, "I can't believe I bought a PS5 to play Starfield and now I can't. This is literally the Holocaust." God, if you browse Reddit, fuck you. You're the scourge of the earth. You personally are making the world a worse place. I do feel like the general public's starting to turn against Reddit, and not just me. I do see more anti-Redditor sentiment on the internet these days, and I'm glad. People are waking up to the truth. The truth about Reddit. The truth about Mike. If you stare closely... Okay, no one's gonna know that reference. I should probably explain this tangent that I'm going on. So back in 2005, there was a video sharing website that was basically like YouTube, but it was pre-YouTube. It was called stupidvideos.com. And there was a video on there once called "The Truth About Mike," and it would just went to the truth about. Wait, no, it had a bunch of like a slideshow of pictures of Green Day albums, and the narrator said, "The truth about Mike, if you stare closely into his chest," and then it was like a screamer. And that was the first time I ever saw a screamer. I was just a wee little lad in 2005, and I was horrified. I had no idea such a thing could ever possibly happen. And that video was permanently ingrained in my mind from that day forward, all the way up until the present day. So we got another episode of Quake coming.